Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody, Militiaman and Crew. Hey, today's July 30th. Man, can you believe the summer's almost over? Well, not over, but hey, it's gone by so fast. It's been a busy month, and I think everybody feels the same because the heat is up. I think it's been 100 degrees here where we are, real close. So hey, listen though, the good thing is that there's some interesting information about the Iraqi dinar, and that is al-Sudani confirms the continuation of the implementation of Baghdad is more beautiful. If you guys remember about the Arab League, everybody was praising al-Sudani for his growth, his reconstruction of Baghdad. But he's going to keep that going. And one of the components of all of the things that he has planned and the government has, the Ministerial Council of Economics, which includes a lot of people. I think you should look up Ministerial Council of Economics and who that entails. It's the legal authority, it's the financial authority, it's all of those people. It's the planning, it's the trade, it's everything. So keep that in mind. But obviously, there's a component we've talked about till we're blue in the face, and I know it gets tiresome, and we go through the same kind of rigmarole, if you will. But the bottom line is the news is the news, and we have to try to decipher that, and that's what we do. I think to the best of our ability, and I think you guys appreciate that. But the bottom line is, yeah, it gets a little bit mundane. But you know what? Let's see if we can just get through some of that and go through this. But it says here, they're talking about building a museum that will be built on in an area of about 12,500 square meters. 12,500 square meters. Okay, that's big. Okay, 4,000 square foot house, a 10,000 square foot house. But we're talking about 12,500 square meters of a building. It's going to take a lot of money. Is that important? Yeah, possibly. Of course, they want to impact the people, the region, the globe for tourism, etc. But the bottom line is, it really necessary for the citizens? And my view is, no, it's not. They need to have food, they need to have jobs, they need to have water, they need to have electricity, they need to have those things. So this is an add-on. And so what we haven't seen is the investment side of the budget, of the tripartite budget. And that is outside of operational day-to-day basis, and that's part of their constitution. And that's what I believe. So anyway, they're talking about building this 12,500 square foot metered museum and to paint a picture of a dark era. But that's what they're going to do, and probably rightfully so, because history is, we don't want the bad from the past to be forgotten, because it gives us guidance into the future. And I think we have a lot of examples of that over the last 100 years, that there's been some really bad things that have happened. And we seem to have forgotten some of those things. And here they're going to put a massive museum to reflect on that, so people can see that ugliness that happened. And rightfully so. So good on al-Sudani for doing that. But the implications are, to me, is that tells me that the investment side of the budget needs to be exposed, that Article 12, to see the salaries need to be paid, and possibly a retroactive payment because of the purchasing power, etc., that they'll have entitlements to because of the way the budget was designed, and it was a 3-year budget. And there's articles out that talk about how specifically that it is going to be a benefit to the citizens, and that's what we're hoping for. But it says basically this campaign they're going to do in Khadhimia, and basically they're going to build 38 schools, a restoration of 4 heritage schools. They're going to build 15 main streets for 5 neighborhoods. So all of these things are going to be done on above and beyond, as far as I can tell, the operational side, which is the investment side. So again, in short, is that I believe that this article is basically talking about they're getting ready to open that budget portion of it. Those 2025 budget schedules are probably going to need to know what the investment side of this whole thing costs. So if they've already got a plan for this big building, they probably already have an understanding of how much it's going to cost. Feasibility studies are pretty common to know what things cost. And they have some of the largest financial institutions in the world working with them. And we all know that Ernst & Young, Oliver Wyman, K2, KPMG, all of those entities have been around for a long time. World Bank, Bank of International Settlements, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, here's an article that's talking about the National Bank of Iraq signs a strategic agreement with the Ministry of Finance to activate the Sovereign Guarantees Program. Basically, you guys, sovereign guarantees are a commitment by the government to guarantee loans, investments, financial obligations. They're meant for reducing risk to those that are coming in as investors. Basically, it's really a big deal, and it's going to generate confidence. And I've already talked about it many times that sovereign guarantees are a big component. So they say this agreement aims to enable Iraqi banks to contribute, providing long-term credit facilities for national projects. Again, this is stuff that's above and beyond their operational side of the budget. They're not doing all this stuff at 1310, so get that out of your head. They've been doing it through dollar and foreign reserves, and that's just the way it is. They have not been using dinar at 1310 to do all the things that they already have done in Baghdad to help with the infrastructure, for instance, for the sewer systems and all those different things for the citizens to make their lives a little bit better. Okay, they also have paid salaries for those that have legitimacy to access. So there's been a lot of fudge numbers in the past, and you've been seeing that in the news. So ultimately, what is it going to do? It's going to help reduce financing risks and encourage the private sector and local international investors to enter the Iraqi market with greater confidence. And that's what I've been saying. And I think that's because that's what they've been telling us. But a lot of stuff is out there that suggests that's not the case. But it is the truth. It says this steps in line with Iraqi government's financial and administrative reform plan. So they've had this in their plan, which aims to diversify sources of income, boost non-oil revenues, and enable the banking sector to play a greater role in supporting sustainable development and achieving the national economic vision. It says the bank also seeks to expand its regional international partnerships to provide financing tools that align with the development requirements and support the government's efforts to achieve comprehensive and sustainable economic stability. And it is fascinating. To me, Iraq is living up to our promises with the Sovereign Loan Guarantee Program. Basically, it's going to be helping create the confidence of the international financial institutions like we just talked about. It's going to create sustainable development, and that process will be for what? Economic stability. So anyway, it was nice to see that in our Patreon room that we have some people that have experience in the past, and I'm going to read a little bit of a comment. And this gentleman says, I've been in this investment for well over 15 years. I've seen many get excited and just give up and quit, even many in my family. My wife and I owned an international marketing firm, and we traveled globally for over 30 years. We lived for a while in Moscow, Russia, during the time of the ruble devaluation. We were paid in US dollars and then exchanged into rubles. The devaluation went from 30 rubles to 3,000 rubles. Needless to say, we still made money. We even bought a house in Florida. Ours, of course, is a revaluation talking about the IQD. He says, taking the IQD and exchanging the USD. So my point, he says, is this is not the time to wane or become discouraged. The end is absolutely in sight. I am 77 years old, and I have never seen an opportunity like this one. And those that have given up are thinking about giving up, I will give you a call when I'm at the bank. I find that was a good one. Peniel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope I got your name right. But absolutely fabulous, because that's real data from real people that get it. And you're not alone. You're not alone. So on another topic, we have the Raffidain Bank announces 87% completion of external debt file. So it announces today, it says that 87% of external debt file has been completed. So they've gotten rid of some debt. It says, in an achievement that embodies the effectiveness of the institutional coordination between the government, the Ministry of Finance, and the Raffidain Bank, the bank announced a substantial progress in the debt file, the foreign debt file. It says it represents a settlement of approximately 87% of the total international obligations. Iraq has had international obligations, and that's a massive change. What's it through? It's through high-level financial and legal negotiations, which resulted in a tangible reduction in the volume of foreign debt. It talks about Iraq's commitment to the Paris Club and with the direct approval of the Council of Ministers, so it's a legal thing. It says the bank concluded major negotiated settlements with the Dutch and French creditor companies. It's talking about the Cabinet Resolution number 403, 2025. It says settlement of 3 lawsuits filed by Dutch companies with the concession rate in favor of the bank, which is the Raffidain Bank, exceeding 90% of the value of those claims. So they knocked it out of the park. It says the bank is continuing its efforts to close the remaining issues through final settlements, which will strengthen Iraq's sovereign rating and consolidate international confidence in the financial stability and commitment to sound financial governance. Look, you guys, sovereign guarantees and the getting rid of the external debt, what it does, it reduces liabilities, which is a good thing. Financial obligations, reduces the financial obligations, improves the debt, it improves the equity ratio, it improves their creditworthiness, it increases their financial flexibility. You guys look up sovereign guarantees and you'll see what I'm talking about. I think it's very powerful that we have these things back to back at the same time. And then we're going to add in another article. This particular article is called Trade Discusses the Developments of Iraq's Accession to the World Trade Organization. It says the Ministry of Commerce announced yesterday the Department of Foreign Economic Relations held a meeting with representatives of the International Trade Center, ITC, to discuss the latest developments related to Iraq's accession to the World Trade Organization, which is the WTO, and ways to enhance technical cooperation to support this process. They go on and talk about the importance of technical support that's been provided by the ITC, especially at this pivotal stage, because of its great role in raising the efficiency of the national teams and enhancing institutional readiness of accession requirements. It goes on and says, their efforts made to update the National Determined Contributions, NDC, so it's the nationally determined contributions, in coordination with the sectoral entities in line with government policies aimed at integrating the concepts of environment and sustainability into economic and trade policies. It says that the meeting that they've had was in continuous efforts of the department to develop Iraq's trade policy, raise institutional and technical capabilities in order to support accession to the World Trade Organization and enhance Iraq's presence in the multilateral trading system. Basically, the representatives, they state that the International Trade Center praised the progress made in the accession file and the level of coordination with the Department of Foreign Economic Relations, stressing their readiness to continue providing the necessary technical support to complete the accession requirements. I believe that Iraq's in an advanced stage with regard to accession. Iraq has demonstrated great progress and clearly has intention to gain full accession into the WTO. The timing of this now is likely, to me, no coincidence. It has been a work in progress, and Iraq has full intent to achieve accession. And I think that we all know that we've been aware of this for a long time. And basically, this article is basically supporting that there are efforts for full integration into the international financial system. That's what I have on that particular part. But then I went down and did a little deeper dive, like a lot of people do, and it's important to do that. And some of the things that I got back today was, look, this article that we just read supports that Iraq is actively working toward accession to the World Trade Organization and is making significant progress. It details meeting between the Ministry of Commerce, Department of Foreign Economic Relations, and representatives of the International Trade Center, which is the ITC, to discuss updates on Iraq's WTO accession process and enhanced technical cooperation. That article that I just read, it says, it highlights Iraq's preparation of technical files through this accession team in coordination with the national technical committees was one of the points. The importance of the ITC's technical support in building capacity of Iraqi teams in meeting institutional requirements for accession. Next point was efforts to update Iraq's national determined contributions in alignment with the government policies in environmental and economic sustainability. And then continuous efforts by the Department of Foreign Economic Relations to develop Iraq's trade policy and institutional capabilities to support WTO accession. Praise from the ITC representatives for Iraq's progress and their commitment to providing further technical support. And at the end of the day, what does it say? It says these points indicate that Iraq is not only actively engaged in the accession process, but it is also at an advanced stage with structured coordination, technical support, institutional readiness, and being emphasized. So if you put all these things together, I think what you're seeing is that Iraq has set the stage. They have been working behind the scenes. They're not as public about the specifics as that we would like, but the ultimate game point is if you try to do some research and define what they're actually talking about and you put it into context, you get things like what I just read, is that this article from the trade discussed the developments of Iraq's accession to the World Trade Organization is actually a very powerful article. And is all of these things tied together, paying off debt, enhancing sustainability, joining the World Trade Organization in advanced stages, salaries, all of those things, all of them converging at the same time. All of these things are really cool. I think they're really powerful. I don't necessarily say the word powerful very lightly, you guys, because it actually is. It really is truly an amazing time to be involved. And obviously, you guys are all fully aware of all the new technologies that are taking place and that are being utilized. We have some big things that are in the news. You guys realize, though, that assets are assets. Dinar is an asset. It's going to be an asset, especially when they revalue their currency. Because why? Because it's going to have value. Just like new technologies have value. Just like from ancient history, I talked about gold. I've been presenting that. It's a big deal. So, hey, if you guys like the content tonight, and I hope you do, hit the like button, subscribe, and please, thank you so much for all your support. PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. It's been helping keeping us rolling and rocking and rolling, and we'll keep it coming.
Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.